Okay, here we're mixing a baguette dough in a spiral mixer, and it is roughly 63% absorption. The dough has become nice and silky, and the gluten strands have been developed, and we're nearing completion of the mix. Here we're dividing 550 grams or approximately 19-ounce dough portions. We've got a double conical rounder set up here, as this particular customer focuses on pizza shells, not necessary for baguette or any loaf bread production. Now we have it entering the overhead bread proofer. This particular model in this bakery can rest upwards of 60 minutes. The model is outfitted with steam generating system as well as an ultraviolet light system. Such systems are very useful when your resting times are beyond 20 minutes or when local ambient conditions dictate use of steam. The idea is to maintain the pliability of your dough skin so you get proper extension through the proofing process. So here you'll see there is readings of actual humidity, set humidity, actual temperature, and set temperature. So it's very accurate in its sensing abilities. Because it is fitted with steam injection system, this whole proofer is stainless steel, inside and out. We also have employed an ultraviolet light system in here. Because you're introducing a nice warm, moist environment, it fosters growth of mold, flora, fauna, and bacteria. And in order to counteract that process, we employ an ultraviolet light system that actually nullifies any growth. So after the end of every workday, one would utilize this light for approximately 10 to 15 minutes just to ensure that there is no bacterial or mold or fauna growth after each workday. We've turned on the light to just show you, and if you look on the trays inside there, you'll see a blue light, and I'm going to oscillate on and off so you can see the difference. Here you have a series of exit ports, and by actually opening and closing them, you can either shorten or increase your rest time. Again, this overhead bread proofer roughly does between 35 and 65 minutes depending upon which exit chute you wish to use, and of course it is also variable in speed, so you got a lot of flexibility on modulating your time. We also have a side exit conveyor underneath the exit chutes, which transports the dough out to peripheral pieces of equipment. In this case, we have a cross sheeter for flat pizzas, but for this test, we're using a bread molder for baguette production. Now, the trays actually turn upside down throughout the cycle, and the dough ball moves from one tray to the next, thus keeping that dough ball turning. And by turning, the yeast has an opportunity to grow in an equidistant fashion, and it increases the structure of the dough product. Over here we have a 6-cylinder industrial bread molder. Of course, you can do baguettes on this, anything from 6-inch to 30+ inch. We also make other versions extending out to 40 inches depending on the client's needs. When I say 6 cylinders, we actually have 3 sets of cylinders in the head section. Each of them are independently adjustable to actually sheet the dough prior to it being molded. Here are the controls for each of the sets of cylinders. Comes through the cylinders, and then we head underneath pressure plates. Has a very long molding section. It's a sequential system, so you can actually adjust each plate individually. And each plate also has rear and frontal adjustments. So you can angle it so you have a gentle, progressive molding action, and each of them can be, again, adjusted independently. You'll notice that you can put pressure plates of varying widths from, again, 6 inches plus. Here we have a 20 and 28 inch pressure plate with the side guides that are actually movable, and they press up against the pressure plate so you can get consistently blunt edges if you wish. If you want a more natural finish, what one would do is open up the side guides and allow the dough to mold freely to avoid the blunt edges. For the purpose of this test, we have a machine that we brought in place that has a catch plate. However, we also provide V-gate type panning systems. We would simply remove that catch plate and underneath install a reciprocating panner that automatically places your finished product into a fluted pan or flat, thus eliminating the need for manual panning.